Hi everyone, this is Helen Bellino again from Artopia, showing you our wonderful Sculpt and Stick product. And in particular, in this YouTube video, I'm going to be showing you how to use this kit, which is all about turning a found object into a mosaic sculpture. So you might wonder why I'm wearing this hat and carrying this bag. That's because they're ideas for what you can do with your sculpture. So I'll take the hat off now, put my handbag down, and I'll also show you this lovely shoe, which is going to be our project. So this kit is all about turning a found object into a rigid sculpture on which you can then apply your mosaic finish. So you can see this shoe is really very suitable because it's already hard, it's holding its own shape. With something like this handbag, that's not going to be suitable as it is. So what I would do if I did want to do my handbag is I would stuff it with plastic. I am recycling this plastic. I don't like using new plastic. I always like to make sure that we practice sustainability. So I've stuffed that and made it nice and rigid now, so that's not going to move around and it can hold its own shape. So I could do that handbag and also the hat. Now that's quite rigid already, but just to be on the safe side, if I was going to do something like this, I might stuff it with the plastic and give it a little bit more body. So they're the sorts of things you can do. I mean, just use your imagination. Hopefully you'll be able to find some wonderful found objects around your home that you can turn into amazing, unique sculptures. So I'll just pop my hat and bag away and we'll focus on the shoe. The first thing you need to think about when you're going to do this method is that the object is clean and dry. So if, this is pretty good, this shoe, I don't think it's been worn or not very much at all. It doesn't need attending to, but you would need to give it a good clean if it was damaged in any way, and make sure it's very dry before you begin. We've already mixed up our Sculpt and Stick in the previous tutorial, so please watch that video if you haven't already so you can learn how to mix it up. Okay, in the kit you'll find this fiberglass tape and these other things that you will need for doing this. Okay, so first of all I'm going to start by cutting a few strips from my fiberglass tape. You can cut like this, across like that, and get these little ones, or you can cut a bigger one and cut longer ones this way. Okay, so we want fairly small strips. Now I don't cut too many in advance because the adhesive is very light and it does tend to become unsticky very quickly. They also tend to stick to each other like this one, so then they're a bit more awkward to use. So the idea is now, with the sticky side down, you begin covering your object. And so you can tuck it over the edges like that, but whichever way you do it, make sure you overlap them a little bit. You can do them this way and that way, always, anyways, as long as they sit flat, okay? So always make sure when you put one on that it's sitting flat. So if I was to put this one, for instance, here, and then do that, you can see that that is sticking out, and that's not sitting nice and flat. So that would leave like a ridge, which we don't want. So I'll reposition that. So it's got to sort of go with the contours of the object. So I'm not going to put any more than that on in one given time. In fact, that's almost a little bit too much. And then we get our sculpting stick that's already mixed up, and with an applicator, that's what I was mixing it with. I'm going to switch to just an Icypole stick. You can use other things. I quite like the Icypole stick. It's nice and nimble in your fingers. Push it in. Okay, so with any of our first coats in cement sculpture methods, the first coat is always about pushing it in. In this case, we're pushing it into the fiberglass mesh. Okay, pushing it in. At the end of doing all this, we do a second coat, which is more about covering it properly. So you can see how quickly I used up those strips. If you have an assistant with you who wants to cut your strips up as you go, that would be really useful, wouldn't it? So don't worry about putting it over, like if you want to overlap on the bit you've already put there, that's fine, you can do that. Just keep going in that method, taking the mixture and pushing it in. I'm really doing that scraping. I can use my gloved fingers as well to tuck it over. And keep going. Now, you can see that there's quite a lot of work needed to get the whole shoe covered. It would be over ambitious to try and do the whole found object in one sitting, okay? Because you're going to at some stage need to do the bottom and the other side, and you don't want to be sitting it down like that and you're going to ruin the finish. So I would suggest you just focus on one area at a time where you can just turn it. So I could probably do like this whole top of the shoe in one sitting, but I wouldn't then go and do the bottom in one sitting, okay? So with this kind of thing, this strap here, you can wrap things around it like that, okay? You can wrap things around the heel like this, okay? With something like the handbag, and you've got these floppy straps, if you wanted to, for your completed sculpture, you could leave these straps just as they are. I would cover these with some protective tape before starting work, and then do everything here, and then take the tape off at the end. Or you could turn these into rigid straps by doing this with the fiberglass tape, wrapping it around, and putting the mixture on it. But I'm not going to do that today. I'm going to continue with the shoe. Well, what I did forget to do at the start of this video is explain to you that if you've got buckles and things that you don't want on your finished work, you can remove them at the start. I'm going to take that little button off if I can. Oh, there it is. I might keep that because I might put it on in my mosaics at the end, but I might not. I might choose something more blingy to go there. But I will keep it just in case. And so I'll do a little bit more of this strap now and show you it does get a bit finicky here and there. You might even just do the top side in one sitting like that. And I'm not going to try and do under there right now because it might all come off. I'm just going to leave that like that. And then tomorrow I will tuck that round and put some more on the back there to hold that down. I mean, you can give it a go if you like. Also under here, I can attach that down like that and just do the work over it. Like that, and put the mixture on. Or I can make sure that doesn't stick to that by popping a little bit of plastic underneath there, like that, so it's not actually going to stick. I can take the plastic out later. I just want to keep a separation on that so I can put some mosaics underneath and on top. And so I do have, actually accentuate this strap so you can see that it's a strap on the finished sculpture, rather than it sort of just getting buried with the mixture. Okay. So as you can see, how I said before, it is a bit tricky to do it in one sitting. So I probably wouldn't do any more of that strap today. I would have a look at that tomorrow and finish that work. All right, so that's really all there is to it. Just continuing in that method where you're overlapping and putting on the mixture, the SNS, until you've done the whole shoe. You can do inside as well. You can do the sole. You can do everything, or you can leave some of it raw. In this one, I've decided I'm not going to do the sole. So in the next YouTube video, you will see what this shoe looks like after I've finished the first coat, and then I will show you how to do the second coat. So I hope that is self-explanatory now, and that you'll be able to go ahead and use everything in your kit to create an amazing, unique sculpture as a basis for your mosaics. Thanks for listening. See you in the next video.